let's say you'd like to have a single switch box, but you want to control two different lights, maybe you press for space or whatever, two different devices. Maybe you want a light, maybe you want a fan. That's what I want to do over here. I want to put a light in the closet, and I want an exhaust fan, small one, for all the stereo equipment that's going to go in there for the surround sound and so on and so on. I don't want it to get too hot, and I don't want AC in there. So I want to put a single switch that has a stack switch, it's two switches, in a single gang box. I want to show you how to do that, and I want to show you how to wire it using 3-wire. But first, let me show you a little bit about the different types of wire. As you see here, I have a roll of white, blue, and yellow. This one, in case you don't know, that is 14-2, meaning the size is 14 gauge with 2 wires in there, including a ground, a black, a white, and a ground. This one's 14-3, so we have 3 wires in there, including a ground, a black, a white, a red, and a ground. And this one is 12. This one's a little bit bigger. It's 12-2. It has a black, a white, and a ground. These are rated for only being fused at 15 amps. That's all we're allowed to put on a breaker for those, 15 amp. This one we can fuse at 20. What's that translate into? You can get about 1,800 watts out of a 15 amp circuit and 2,400 watts out of a 20 amp circuit. And I can show you how to do the math. And my big drill. Back in the day, all these wires used to be the same color. But the inspector would really have to get up and read the insulation to see what size it was. All right, so could you imagine the inspector, if these were all white wires, trying to go through the house and looking at all the wire, trying to find out, all right, oh, well, this one's 12-2, and then he'd have to run over to some other wiring over here and look for the writing on the wiring telling me it's 14-2 right here. That's right there. I don't know if I can get it to focus on that, but 14-2. This one's 14-3. I don't think that even has writing, it just has color. So the point of this is for the inspector. He can walk in the house. He can look up in the ceiling and the walls and go, oh, all right, well, there's a 12 wire that's going over to the dining room, which is required to have 12 wire, 20 amp circuit. All right, that makes sense. Oh, there's some 14. That's most likely going to be some lighting. That's 14-3, so I know those are most likely travelers. And then there's some white one. That's 14-2. It's very easy. From the middle of the room, the inspector can see what wires you all pulled. And then even over here, there's an orange one. All right, the inspector will know without even having to look at the writing on the insulation. That's a 10 wire. Well, that must be a stacked washer and dryer. Well, look at the drainage and the piping there, the plumbing. That's a stacked washer and dryer. All right, well, he's got the right wire up there. That's good. All going up into the house towards the panel. Super. So for me, I have this little space right here. It's going to be a closet of some sort. I would like to put an LED light up here in the ceiling. Okay, and probably a little bit of a bath fan, a nice quiet one. And I want to run it on this one single gang box. So I have power coming in. It's going to be on a 15 amp circuit for this lighting in this room. Okay, my power is coming in from over here in the switch box next door. This one's a little bit more involved. I want to do a video on this one too. This is running a lot of 3-ways and switch legs. So this one's my power coming in, and then I have a 3-wire going out. Okay, you see we have a red on the right, a white, a black, and a green. Well, that's going to go up over here into my first little recess can box. It's an LED disc box. I'm going to show you how to wire that up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and prepare this box. We're going to rough it in. We're not putting the switch at this time yet. We're just going to get the wiring ready. So I want to cut this with, I want to leave 8 to 10 inches outside the box at least. Keep some of this extra wire, might need it. Now there is a way you can either use a knife, which I wouldn't recommend, to strip the insulation off. I usually use a pair of dikes very carefully. You can actually go way in the back of the box, pinch a little bit lightly with the dikes on the insulation, and then pull. But don't do it hard because you don't want to nick the wiring. Take the paper off. But you do want to leave a little bit of insulation in the back of the box. It's required by the code to have like a 1/4 inch in there. And this one's a little more tricky. It's a bigger wire. I'll reach in there again with my dikes. Pinch a little bit. And then I'm going to try to pull the wire off without damaging. If you cut the wire too much and you don't have any slack, which I don't, you'll have to re-pull that wire. Alright, so we got power coming in. The three-way, the 3-switch, not a 3-way, but we got the multi-wire here, red, black, white, going up to the light and the fan. I usually like to do my grounds first. Okay, take your 2 grounds, put these up out of the way, twist them together, put them back as far as you can, and start twisting. Get a couple inches of twist on there. Cut one. Use the green wire nut. The green wire nut has a hole in the middle for this purpose. Okay, slide that down the end. And that twist on. Now it's mechanically bonded. This is required by the code. Okay. We want to shove that in the back of the box. Leave some of this hanging out. Okay. Now the whites, most switches don't need the white wire. Unless you're working with a smart switch of some kind, then it needs power. So, yeah, move everything else up out of the way. Okay, get your whites together. Trim them about the same length. About 3/4 of an inch of insulation or so. Strip it off both of those neutrals. Okay, got the wire nut. You don't have to pre-twist these if you don't want them. Just get them even at the top. Okay. If you look at the bag of wire nuts, if you buy a bag of wire nuts, it says you don't have to twist it. You just put this over, and as you do, twist the wire nut, and that action will twist these together anyway. See, look at it. It even twisted the wire down here. So like I said, this particular switch I'm putting in doesn't need a neutral. So we're going to put these in the back of the box as well. Get that out of the way. You want room for your switch. Put it right in the back. Okay, don't mix these up. This is my power coming in. My red and white going up. Okay, on my switch, it's going to have a ground, green terminal for a ground. It's going to have a copper terminal for my power, and then it's going to have probably 2 black terminals on the opposite side. You're going to connect one to the top or the bottom and one to the other one. And this one to the other side where it's going to have power, just for the power coming in. So one source of power, 2 options going out. Either my light, the red, or my fan. So I know what's going to be what, so I'm just going to put these together. I'm going to wrap my hot wire, it's going to be on my hot side, it's coming from my other switch, around my 2 switch legs. Also, I want to put my ground around here, keep everything nice and neat together. I'm going to cut these to length. Okay, and then later when I get my switch, we're going to trim that out. But that's how you rough in for a switch and a light in the same single gang box using a stack switch. That 3-wire is very handy for that. You don't have to run 2 separate 14-2s. You can use one 14-3. Okay guys, I don't know if you can see this, but I have that 14-3 wire coming in. Okay, we have the black, the white, the red, and the ground. I know this is an interesting view. Okay guys, I'm back. As per usual, the battery died in the GoPro. I like GoPro, but I hate the batteries. This is kind of a neat angle up in the attic here. Yeah, hopefully by doing this I don't lose my GoPro or I don't lose my phone. My phone's there too. It's supposed to be giving me a preview of what I'm doing here. So yeah, bear with me here. All right, so we have the ground coming up from my 3-wire. We have a ground going out on a 2-wire, which is gonna run my fan. This is for an LED light, okay? I want one switch, which would be the red, to run this light, and the black switch to carry on to run the fan if it gets hot in here. So first thing I always do is run my grounds. I twist my grounds together. Okay, hopefully you can see this. My apologies, because I can't see the enable preview. Okay, so I'm going to twist these together. Okay, and then my ground that grounds the box of this LED light. So what are some of the reasons why would you want to do something like this? Maybe you have a vanity light and a bath fan that you want to run on a single switch. Instead of putting another switch, you can put a stack switch. And then you need to run a 3-wire, or you got to run a separate 14-2 wire or 12-2 wire, depending what you have. Okay, so my grounds are together. Okay, because you always got to have ground. With this number of grounds this size, you need a yellow wire nut. Okay, and then I'm going to carefully push this back in the box. I don't want to move anything too much because I don't want the GoPro is balancing up there. Okay, GoPro decided to stop again. Don't know why. It's just the way it is. Okay, my neutrals, you got to put your neutrals together. All right, there should be a neutral here for my little whip on my light. And cut this little tin coated piece off. Strip my neutral. I had to bring my wire strippers with me. That's all right, I can do it this way. Okay, you want to strip a little bit off on your neutrals. Okay, so my 2 neutrals will be hooked together. Okay, my 2 neutrals and my other neutral lined up. I don't know if you can see that, hopefully so. And I'm going to put the wire nut on top. Start twisting this very easily. Don't want the GoPro to fall down. And believe it or not, there's enough wiring space in here. Somebody's going to say, mister, there's no wiring space. Oh, well, there is actually. There's enough wiring space to do this. Okay, here's my black wire. Okay, coming up from the switch. Here's my red wire coming up from the switch. One of them I want to be switching this light, and the other one I want to switch the fan. So here's the black wire going out to what's the future fan. I want my red wire to stop here. I want that one to be my LED light. Okay, and then I want to connect it to the black wire of this LED light fixture housing. I want the black to continue. So the black of the housing stays here, and it goes to the red that's going down to the switch of that 3-wire. Okay, and you can use these little orange wire nuts for something this small. 1 14-2 and 1 fixture wire is it's good enough for this. Carefully push them back in. And then these 2 blacks, I just want these to pass through the box because I'm going to tie another switch, a stack switch. I'll show you a picture. I'm going to tie a stack switch in at trim time to switch the fan, and it'll be switched through here. And these 2, I probably need a yellow wire nut here. So this is just going to pass through. This connection here will just pass through the box and onto my fan. So that's how you utilize a 3-wire. You can control 2 different things. You can use 1 switch if you wanted to control them both, and both of those broke off. That's nice. Hey Ian, do you have the wire strippers over there by any chance? They're somewhere. Yeah, trying to do this without wire strippers is not fun. I'm using my dikes and I keep breaking them. Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm gonna strip this again because I tried to use my dikes to strip them, and apparently I chipped off a little bit of the copper, just destroyed it. Okay, let's try that again. I want these two blacks together. Okay, yellow wire nut. And that will just pass power through to the fan when I turn the switch on for the other switch. I want to control them separately. And like I said, there's plenty of wire space in here. I took the cover off so you all could see. I think I have this set on the brightest setting. This one has 3 different settings. Put this cover back on. And so far so good. I didn't lose my GoPro on the floor. And that's that. Let me get out of here before I fall down. Tricky spot. Would have been a good blooper though. Hi. So that's what that looks like going in. Blue wire going in. The red stops there to switch the future LED light that'll be here, and this one's going to continue on for the fan that I'm going to put here. And that one is for the stereo system that's going to be in here for the surround sound. Yeah, buddy, 8 plugs. So Ian is working on the wiring of this bath fan that we're putting in the closet here for the stereo entertainment equipment. Just in case it gets hot in here, I'm not going to run AC in here. I don't have that kind of money. But if we have the door closed to this closet, we want to be able to turn on that switch with the 3-wire and run this fan for a little while up into the attic. So basically he ran in a 14-2, connecting that little plug that's hanging off there, black to black, white to white, ground to ground. And then you just tuck those neatly into the corner and slide this connector back up, which is basically a plug for the fan itself. And then we're going to put the exhaust pipe on there so it's outside of the insulation. Fan is up. Ian's putting the zip ties on there because we want to blow the hot air from this room above the insulation. So we got an 8-foot section that we're going to, there's not going to be any kind of humidity in there. It's just going to be some hot air probably coming from this room closet. And we need to strap it up somewhere. Okay, we'll put the guts in come trim time. We'll get the pipe up there. It's just going to be above the insulation. It doesn't need to be vented. It is not venting humidity. It is venting any hot air that might be in here for all the surround sound and stereo equipment. Well, looky here. We have drywall. Remember that wire we stuck in here? Okay, those 2 wires. One's to the fan, one's to the light. Okay, the ground wire, the power wire, our fan box, and our other box that we wired up from the ceiling with the precarious position with the GoPro. Well, here's our LED light. Easy enough to pop this thing in. Once they're traced out, these LEDs are super simple to put in. It's got 2 tabs on there. They're about the thickness of the light itself is about the thickness of the drywall, about a 1/2 inch. Look at that, just pops right in. The fan, trimming the fan out. Here's the guts. Okay, you're gonna line up. There's 2 tabs here, and 1 tab on this side, and then a place for the outlet. Okay, you can see up here outlet. Can't really see the tabs, but the 2 tabs go in first. Put it up in there, and then just push it in until it clicks, which you didn't hear it click, but it's there. Plug in your fan. Man, it's that easy. That time it clicked. You have your trim. There's a slot here and a slot on the other side that this goes into. Okay, you just pinch them. Slide it up in there. Same thing here. Pop it in. That's it for that one. Now let's work on the wiring. Okay, we're back. So what do we got? We got these two wires. All right, these are my travelers. Nope, these are not travelers. These two wires. I got the red one going to the light, black one going to the fan, and my power, remember? Okay, it's been several weeks since that other recording. And this is the switch I got. It's a little bit different than the one I had put up as an image. This is the Decora version of the toggle that I threw up there. Okay. Okay, I got my wire strip. Got my little curls on there. This I want to curl it a little bit better. Okay. My power on the black side. Now if I wanted to make two separate circuits out of this, I could put a power here and a power there from a separate circuit, but you'd have to break this little tab in the middle. So, but I only need one circuit feeding this. I just wanted to be able to switch my light and fan separately. If I'm trying to keep the stereo equipment cool, I don't need to have the light on as well if the door is closed or whatever. Okay, screw in the other one. Doesn't need to be torqued. And I'd like my bottom switch to be the light. I gotta unscrew that one. Okay. I know I wired this, the red one being the light, the black one. Okay. I like to pinch these things closed, nice and tight, torque them so you have a really good connection. Okay, torque one there. That could be a little bit tighter. Let me squeeze that wire a little bit more. Takes an extra second, but you know what? The switch is going to be in there for a long time until I decide to switch it to a smart home or something. Switch. Okay, that's good. Put it in the wall. Make sure you push the ground in. Doesn't touch anything. Wow. Okay, just as I wanted. Power's on. Bottom one turns on the light with no fan. Top one turns on the fan. So I can have her separate. It's kind of louder than I wanted. I hope when I get the equipment in here and the doors installed on here, I'm not going to hear that fan that much. I was hoping to have a more quiet one. We'll see. When I put the bifold doors on there, maybe we won't hear it so much. But definitely keep the equipment cool. And once again, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you found value. If you want to show more appreciation, you can become a member, pay monthly for some certain benefits. Yeah, really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.